And welcome everybody, it's Dan. Hope you're well today. Welcome to the podcast. This is the Business Growth Show. And right now, as I'm sure you're aware, it's very, very quiet out there. I was just reading through some of the tweets that are going out on Twitter right now from other digital marketing agencies or people who work for digital marketing agencies like freelancers. And everyone's saying the same. It's incredibly quiet out there. And it's really interesting because the digital marketing and the marketing side is kind of like the first thing to go when things get bad. And it's also one of the first things that comes back when things are starting to going good, because people need to get their messages out. But when things are going bad, they've got to, tighten up their wallets, so to speak. And one of the first things to go is marketing and all of that kind of thing. Sales teams disappear as though somehow getting rid of a sales team is going to help. You close more sales. I've never really understood that, but there's no question that we're currently in quite a quiet period, and it's almost like we're waiting for either an election, or we're waiting for some interest rate cuts, and ideally both of those happening at the same time, which isn't going to happen. You're either going to get an interest rate cut. As soon as there's an election announced, I don't think they're going to drop interest rates or anything until after that election, because there's a lot more uncertainty. I mean, we're in this period of uncertainty right now anyway. How much more uncertainty do you need? But it gives the markets quite a bit of jitters. So then it's like, okay, so we can't rely on these outside sources like an election or interest rates. What can you do? By the way, the reason why I say interest rates is that it will stimulate the economy because there's more cash available inside the economy for people to spend. Obviously, that then puts a pressure on inflation, which is too much cash chasing too few goods. But the inflation was bollocks anyway. It was all artificially done because of the Ukraine situation and other things that we had going on at the same time. So, oil prices going up. So it wasn't that people had too much money chasing too few goods. It was that the goods were too expensive in the first place through none of our faults, really. Fuel went up, food prices went up, everything went up, didn't it? Because it was a knock-on effect. Anyway, so what can you do? You can't rely on these outside third-party sources, such as interest rate cuts and an election. And I always think, that the person that's going to succeed in this world is the person that's actually going to be on their own, standing in front of the sea as it comes in and demanding the sea goes back out. Obviously, that's a figment of our imagination. It's never going to happen. But being bold enough to have the kahunas to go out and do such a thing, I think is what you need in business right now. And there's a lot of kahunas missing right now. So you need to grow a pair, basically. Men and women and everybody else who identifies as whatever, you need to grow a pair in business sense, right? So you've got to get out there. This is the key, and that's what we're going to talk about in this Business Growth Show. So the very first thing that you should be doing right now is creating more content. Now, it's quite interesting because I've actually had a bit of a lull myself in the amount of content that we create, but then I would ask, has anybody even noticed? Because just today, for example, if I look at what's gone out today, we've had 4 or 5 posts that go out. We've got in the morning, we've got one of my in-car videos, and we've got that going out up until the end of this week. In an evening at 8 p.m. until the end of next week, we've got videos going out as well. And then we've got all the other videos that are going out, including some slightly different videos that we've done where we've got rid of the images and we've actually done me doing a voiceover and sharing screen and putting that into a video for some of our products and services. So we kind of changed how we've done things from just being static images into creating more video effectively. And then we set that on repeat, goes out every 10 weeks or every 6 weeks. And so I just do it once, when it comes back around, I'd never have to do it again. It's really cool. So all of that combined is me effectively creating more content. And in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I've definitely had a lull. I've had a few injuries from CrossFit. One of them wasn't even CrossFit. I injured myself last night just going for a run. A shoulder injury going for a run. I just got back and my shoulder hurt. I'm like, what's that about? So we've had all these distractions ourselves. But really, when it comes back down to it, in order for us to be in front of as many people as we can, we've got to create content. And there's so many businesses out there right now that are not creating any content. And if you're not creating content, how do people who don't know who you are, how do they discover you? How do they find what you do or see if you can help them? It's very, very challenging, I feel. And if you're not out there creating more content, you're really going to struggle with that. And then the second thing that you should really be doing is you should be increasing the amount of emails that you're sending. Now, I know for a fact, right, because we have these conversations with existing clients or new clients, I should say, because existing clients get this, right, because we have a bit of a go at them about not dropping emails, not sending them out. And I don't mean one-on-one emails. I mean through ActiveCampaign or MailChimp to a mailing list. You've got to be sending more emails. You've got to be messaging people more. You've got to be communicating with people more. You've got to be adding more value. All of this alongside creating more content is really going to help. And obviously, there's a lot of businesses out there, a lot of business owners that haven't got a mailing list. And it's like, no, guys, you need a mailing list. You must have a mailing list from which you can message your customers. These are people who've opted in, or for whatever reason you've got their email address, you've given away free lead magnets, or they've signed up for something. They're in your email list. Use them, right? Email them, offer them something, sell something. So we got create more content, send more emails, and then obviously the next big one, I think, is you've got to be attending more networking events. Now, I think networking events are a bit of a double-edged sword, quite honestly, because on one hand, yes, they are very useful. Yes, you should be attending them. And then on the other hand, yes, they do take a lot of time. They do take up expense. And I'm always like, look, if it takes me half an hour to get there, and then I'm there for 2 hours, and then half an hour to get home, that's 3 hours worth. That's 180 minutes. This video right now, which we've been going for about 7.5 minutes, probably lasts about 12 to 15 minutes. How many of those out of 180 minutes, should we just do the maths? 180 minutes divided by 15 minutes is, I could do 12 live streams. Actually, that's quite a lot of live streams, right? And then once we do the live stream, we then pick out the smaller, shorter videos, and then we reschedule that all across our social media platforms. So why is that good? Well, when you go to a networking event, you're speaking to 1 to maybe 10, maybe 20, maybe 30 people if you're really good at it. Through this, although people might not be watching right now, they will watch out of those 12 lives that we get to do, we may pull out, say, 3 or 4 videos per live. Let's call it 4 videos. That's another 48 videos. That's 2 a day for the next 24 days. And it's like, do you go to a networking event and meet 20 people, or do you have 24 days of 2 videos a day going out where you're going to meet thousands of people, or not meet, but you're going to get in front of thousands of people? So it's kind of like this double-edged sword. But I do think a combination of creating more content, sending more emails, and attending more networking events, I think that's what's going to be really useful for you. And all this really boils down to is about you and your business and your product and your service being seen much more in the marketplace. And so one of the things that we do, for example, for our clients is we do these video interviews where we have our professional interviewer. They'll interview one of our clients for 45 minutes. And out of that 45 minutes, not only do we have a big 45-minute podcast and a full-on video that we can publish out of those videos, we usually pull out between 15 and 25 shorter videos, which means we've then got, 25 days worth of content with 1 video per day, or we've got 12 days of content with 2 videos per day, whatever that happens to be. It means that we're able to get in front of, or get our clients in front of, more people over longer periods of time, where people are going to see what you do, going to talk about your service, talk about your product, talk about your business, talk about yourself. Let's face it, everybody enjoys that. Talking about themselves. And it's about getting in front of as many people as possible. It's about being seen as much as possible. And if you're not doing that right now, your competitors are. Your clients are watching your competitors' content and even contemplating, maybe I need to move away and go to somebody else. And half of these people, most of these people, aren't even your clients in the first place. Your non-clients who are interested in what you have are going to your competitors because you're not being seen from everything that we've just spoken about above. All right, I hope that's useful, and it's coming up to about 10 minutes there. We'll catch up with you on the next one. If you have any questions, obviously, just drop me a message and we'll speak to you soon. Have a wicked day. Take care.